Educational resources. Getting into the design process. You're about to start designing your educational material, but you may be facing some internal questions. How can I make this educational material attractive? How can I make sure that the contents meet the goal of the learning material, but also the objectives? Let's pay attention to some helpful reminders and tips for this process. For the design of the material, it is imperative to take into account the determining characteristics of the target population to which the material is directed. Who are they? What are their difficulties? And what needs do they require? All this is part of a needs analysis process that was carried out as a first step in order to define the basis of the design process. As mentioned before, the educational material needs to be structured based on the needs of the target audience. The design of the material stems from the results of the needs analysis. However, no matter which results are gotten from the needs analysis, the teacher designer should never forget to design content that respects all individuals. Sometimes students may have trouble grasping parts of the contents, but somehow a proper graphic design can support the learning process. Choose meaningful pedagogical metaphor to the material, pertinent for the contents and relevant for the target audience. Support the design with an appealing color palette and clear typography. The design process goes beyond simply creating educational materials. It includes patterns of instructional design, so it carefully considers how students learn and what type of material they require. Also, the strategies that will most effectively help students achieve learning objectives. And in general, how to organize it in terms of contents. The teacher designer can make an effective material in order to meet students' needs, and those needs are especially related to English learning. Focus more specifically on a specific purpose of language. Do not lose perspective that the material should help learners develop language confidence. Somehow, the material should expose learners to language authentic use, and also the material should challenge learners. The teacher designer fulfills an essential role in the design process. The teacher designer must be identified with the target population and its needs. And even more important, the teacher must enjoy the design process so that feelings and emotions can be captured and can be transmitted to the target audience through the educational material. An approach is a way of looking at teaching and learning. Underlying any language teaching approach is a theoretical view of what language is and how it can be learned. An approach gives rise to methods on how of teaching something, and the best activities to help learners learn. The teacher designer must have a strong belief in terms of a specific approach or method guiding the learning process through the educational material. Well-designed materials enhance the results of a learning experience. The design of teaching materials requires the teacher designer to take a set of decisions and make the best choices. These decisions have a great potential in order to raise the teacher designer's reflection about what and how to teach. Generally speaking, material design should consider how to effectively cope with learners' difficulties and needs.